Hello and welcome to this accessibility tutorial all about understanding assistive and adaptive technologies.
We're going to cover a number of topics.
What assistive technology and adaptive technologies are available, the features of a screen reading package, the features of a voice activation package, the features of screen magnification software, the features of keyboard and switch navigation, the limitations of assistive technology, and assistive technology and browser compatibility.
Throughout this tutorial, we will explore each topic in depth to gain a greater understanding of accessibility. There are a wide range of disabilities that affect the population, and not every individual accesses a computer or the internet in exactly the same way. Assistive technology is a kind of technology that can be used to enhance the functional independence of a person with a disability. Often, for people with disabilities, accomplishing daily tasks such as talking with friends, going to school and work, or participating in recreational activities is a challenge. Assistive technology devices are tools to help overcome those challenges and enable people living with disabilities to enhance their quality of life. Assistive technology can be anything from a simple low-tech device, such as a magnifying glass, to a complex high-tech device, such as a computerized communication system. You could also say that a simple computer keyboard is the most common piece of assistive technology. Assistive technology can be big, an automated van lift for a wheelchair, or small, like a grip attached to a pen or a fork. Assistive technology can also be a substitute, such as an augmentative communication device that provides vocal output for a person who cannot communicate with their voice. No matter what the disability, there is a piece of technology that could enable an individual to access a computer and the internet. Depending on the severity of an individual's disability will depend on the complexity of the assistive technology needed. For example, an individual with a minor disability, such as mild arthritis, may not actually need any adaptations at all. In contrast, an individual who is blind will almost certainly need some sort of technology to ensure they can fully access the information available. Assistive technology helps to level the playing field for individuals with disabilities by providing them a way to fully engage in life's activities. An individual may use assistive technology to travel about, participate in recreational and social activities, learn, work, communicate with others, and much, much more. Here are several examples of assistive technology that enable people with disabilities to enter into the community and interact with others. For greater independence of mobility and travel, people with physical disabilities may use mobility aids such as wheelchairs, scooters, and walkers. Adapted car seats and vehicle wheelchair restraints promote safe travel. Handheld global positioning system (GPS) devices help people with visual impairments navigate busy city streets and use public transportation. Building modifications such as ramps, automatic doors, grab rails, and wider doorways mean fewer barriers to employment, businesses, and community spaces such as libraries, churches, and shopping centres. Education and work aids such as automatic page turners, book holders, and adapted pencil grips enable children to participate in classroom activities. Tactile and laser sights for blind archery and rifle shooting, one-handed fishing reels are also a few examples of how technology can be adapted for sporting activities. Lightweight wheelchairs have been designed for organised sports such as basketball, tennis, and racing. Adaptive switches make it possible for a child with limited motor skills to play with toys and games. Accessibly designed movie theatres provide closed captioning and audio description for moviegoers with hearing or visual difficulties. Devices to assist a person with daily living tasks such as cooking, dressing and grooming are available for people with special needs. For example, a medication dispenser with an alarm can be set to remind a child to take daily medication. A person with use of only one hand can use a one-handed chopping board and a cabinet-mounted can opener to cook meals with improved independence and safety. Users with low vision can access large print books in text size from 16 to 48 point, usually referring to anything larger than 22 point as giant print material. Blind individuals can access printed material such as books and newspaper via braille and audio formats, traditionally on tape or CD, but now moving more towards USB sticks or downloadable material. There are also specialist typewriters and printers that can be used to create the dots required to touch-read braille. As we have said, no matter what the disability, there is a piece of technology that will assist an individual to do almost anything. As for the digital world, there are a similar amount of assistive technology choices that can help users with a disability access digital content. Screen readers. Screen readers are software used by blind or visually impaired people to read the content of the computer screen. Examples include JAWS for Windows, NVDA, or VoiceOver for the Mac.
Screen readers are software used by blind or visually impaired people to read the content of the computer screen. Examples include JAWS for Windows, NVDA, or VoiceOver for Mac.
Screen magnification software allows users to control the size of text and graphics on a screen. Unlike a zoom feature, these applications allow the user to have the ability to see the enlarged text in relation to the rest of the screen. This is done by emulating a handheld magnifier. Text readers are software used by people with a variety of learning disabilities that affect their ability to read text. This software will read text with a synthesized voice and may have a highlighter to emphasize the words being spoken. These applications do not read things such as menus or types of elements, or help with navigation in the same way as a screen reader. They only help to read text.
Text readers are software used by people with various forms of learning disabilities that affect their ability to read text. This software will read text with a synthesized voice and may have a highlighter to emphasize the word being spoken. These applications do not read things such as menus or types of elements or help with navigation in the same way as a screen reader. They only read the text.
Speech input software provides people with difficulty in typing an alternative way to type text and also control the computer. Full stop, new line. Users can give the system some limited commands to perform mouse actions. Full stop, new line. Users can tell the system to click a link or a button or use a menu item or simply dictate into a document. Full stop. Alternative input devices. Some users may not be able to use a mouse or a keyboard to work on a computer. These people can use various forms of devices, such as a head stick, a stick or an object mounted directly on the user's head or in the user's mouth that can be used to push keys on a keyboard. This device is typically used by individuals who have no use of their hands. Motion tracking or eye tracking software includes devices that watch a target or even the eyes of a user to interpret where the user wants to place their mouse pointer and moves it for the user. Switch devices. These devices can be used with other alternative input devices or by themselves. These are typically used with an on-screen keyboard. The on-screen keyboard has a cursor that moves across the keys, and when the key the user wants is in focus, the user will click the switch. This can also work on a web page. The cursor can move through the web page, and if the user wants to click on a link or button, when that link or button is in focus, the user can activate the switch. Again, no matter what the disability, there is a piece of technology that will assist an individual to do almost anything. As we mentioned, there are dozens of categories of software and hundreds of individual pieces of hardware and software that can help disabled users to access a computer and the internet. We are now going to explore 3 of the main types of assistive technology. We shall be looking at screen readers, voice activation software packages, and screen magnification software. Blind and low vision computer users interact with a computer and the internet through screen reading software. There are many different types of screen reading software available, and these range from free to very expensive. Screen reading software opens up a world of computing previously inaccessible to a blind user. The software can take a considerable amount of time to learn and rely on touch typing abilities of an individual. The majority of the paid versions are updated on a regular basis. JAWS, which stands for Job Access with Speech, is the world's most popular screen reader, developed for computer users whose vision loss prevents them from seeing screen content or navigating with a mouse. JAWS provides speech and braille output for the most popular computer applications on your computer. The software was released in 1995 and has improved dramatically in the years since. JAWS is a very powerful piece of software and includes several tools that make navigating a computer very simple, even with little or no vision. Even the installation of the product is guided by voice prompts, meaning that the software can be installed by a blind individual without needing any sighted assistance. JAWS works well with Microsoft Office, Internet Explorer, Firefox, and many other applications. With JAWS and other screen readers, it is possible to complete the majority of mouse-driven tasks with a series of keystrokes. For example, something simple like checking the time can be achieved through JAWS.
The time is 11:30 a.m.
Navigating with a screen reader or via keyboard access can be slow, and finding the information you want amongst a sea of unnecessary information is sometimes very, very difficult. JAWS, along with other screen readers, have the ability to navigate by elements on a page. For example, a screen reader user can view a list of headings on a page and navigate to the heading which they are most interested in. In the same way in which a sighted user can open up a newspaper or magazine and skim read the page using the headings, a screen reader user can use the same technique.
Heading list dialog. Headings list view. Services: 1 of 16. To move to items, use the arrow keys. Accessibility light N-3 2. Accessibility service light -3 3. Digital accessibility 2. Digital accessibility assessment 3. User testing 3. Design and template reviews 3. Media services 3. Enter. Heading level 3.
In a similar way, a screen reader user can also navigate to form fields. So if a user knows that there is a form somewhere on the page, they can use shortcut keys to jump directly to that form, enabling them to complete their task much quicker.
Let us help you. Heading level 1. Your name left parent required, right parent edit required. Enter. Main region. Your name left parent required, right parent edit required. Type in text. David Jones tab required. Here. David Jocom tab required. Subject edit. Type in text.
Almost anything that you can imagine doing with a mouse can be achieved with a screen reader. JAWS, however, is fairly expensive and can set users back in excess of £900. An alternative to JAWS is NVDA, or Non-Visual Desktop Access, which is a free open source screen reader created by a number of developers around the world.
Welcome to NVDA, the free screen reader.
Sharing a very similar set of features as JAWS, NVDA can provide access to a computer for severely low vision and blind users. Normally, screen reader users are fairly expensive, making them unaffordable for many blind people. NVDA is free. It has been downloaded 70,000 times in 43 languages. NVDA has the added benefit of being usable by very low vision users who can just about see a mouse pointer. NVDA allows you to move your mouse around the screen, and it will announce what is under your mouse pointer to help you navigate and understand the content of the page.
Digital Accessibility Assessment. The Digital Accessibility Assessment is a rigorous testing process that thoroughly examines the accessibility of your digital services. It incorporates testing on mobile and / or tablet devices as well. The Digital Accessibility Assessment includes 3 levels of testing.
Apple users have their own screen reading technology called VoiceOver. VoiceOver gives auditory descriptions of each on-screen element and provides helpful hints to guide the user to achieve their desired outcome. NVDA uses keyboard shortcuts as well as touchpad gestures and also has the ability to output to a braille display, similar to JAWS. VoiceOver is not a standalone screen reader and is integrated into the Mac operating system and all the built-in apps on a Mac. And as developers update their apps to take advantage of the accessibility features provided by Apple, their apps can start working with VoiceOver straight away.
Link, Home, list 6 items. Link, About Us. Link, Meet the Team. Link, Services. Link, Science. Link, Accessibility Help. Search for. Clickable edit text. Link, Take advantage of free Accessibility Lite service.
VoiceOver also takes screen reading to the next level and is also present on iPads and iPhone devices too. Traditionally, screen reader users were unaware of the general location of items on a screen. After all, if you cannot use a mouse or a mouse pointer, then why do you need to know where items are located on your screen? The screen reader allows navigation to a particular item without actually knowing its physical location on a screen. VoiceOver on an iPad allows users to move their finger across the screen and have VoiceOver announce exactly what is underneath their finger at any given point. Users can then use a double tapping gesture to activate that item. This gives blind users a much more mainstream way to interact with content, allowing blind users to use exactly the same devices as sighted counterparts. Voice activation software packages. Voice recognition is getting better all the time. In the late 1990s, voice activation programs could recognize 1 in every 10 spoken words. Now they can recognize 99% of every word spoken to them. Leading technology manufacturers are putting in significant time and effort to develop voice recognition algorithms so as to improve the lives of everyone, not just users with a disability. Siri for the iPhone, Alexa for the Amazon Echo, and numerous other pieces of technology rely heavily on accurate voice recognition to allow them to exist. Members of the general population are seeing the benefit of voice recognition and voice activation technology, and that can only be of benefit to the disabled community as well. A voice activation software package, such as Dragon Naturally Speaking, allows a user to quickly access web pages and dictate text. Although many disabled users use this software, many non-disabled users also use it as a productivity tool. Like other assistive technology tools we have, Dragon can be used to replicate any command that you can achieve with a mouse. Dragon can be used to navigate around a computer, navigate web pages, type text into documents, and send emails, as well as a whole host of other day-to-day computer tasks. Dragon uses commands such as click link, click button, click text box to allow users to navigate around the various fields or areas on a web page.
Wake up, click link, choose 12, click link, choose 10, page down, click link, choose 22, go to sleep.
Dragon can also use the visual name of an element to interact with it.
Page down. Click Consultancy. Click Digital Training. Click About Us. Page down.
For this reason, it is crucial that all content is labelled correctly. Otherwise, Dragon will not know what a user is referring to. Dragon can also be used to dictate content into documents. It can also be used to make formatting changes and textual corrections.
Select Little. Bold that. Select Fleece. All cap that. Select White. Underline that. Select Everywhere. Set font size to 53.
Dragon also provides proofreading tools to allow users to listen to either their own voice playing back or a computer voice reading what has actually been transcribed into the document.
Select from Mary to Snow. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, full stop, new line. Select from And to Go. Read that.
And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
Dragon also works well with most email programs and can quickly and simply create and send an email.
Send an email to David James. Monthly report figures. Go to the body field. Can you please send me the figures you require for the report this month? ?
The professional versions of Dragon Naturally Speaking can also allow the user to create a number of custom commands to allow users to improve productivity by simplifying repetitive tasks.
Insert order form.
Voice activation software packages like Dragon are learning all the time. They are learning how users pronounce words, they are learning how users construct sentences, and they are learning what complex or technical terms users use in their everyday computing. Every correction a user makes with Dragon, Dragon is learning and is trying to remember what it did wrong so that it doesn't make the same mistakes again. Features of a screen magnification package. Low vision users often rely on screen magnification software to view the web pages on a screen. The Microsoft Windows operating system has a built-in accessibility feature that allows screen reader users to magnify the page, as does the Apple operating system. Another piece of software is called Zoom Text that gives the user a magnifier and reader as well as a host of other tools in one piece of software. There are a whole host of conditions or impairments that can make looking at a computer screen very strenuous or near impossible. These conditions include macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, cataracts, and glaucoma. One of the first tools within Zoom Text is screen magnification and allows you to magnify your screen up to 36 times. With a full screen magnification option, you can simply move your mouse around the screen and the magnification will track your movements. There are a variety of magnification options and users have the ability to choose between a full screen mode, magnifying each line, a half screen magnification, or a partial screen mode similar to an old-fashioned magnifying glass. Users can also have two monitors and zoom in fully on one and have the second monitor displaying a normal sized screen. Zoom Text has several screen enhancement tools that allow users to see various parts of the screen better. These include changing the color scheme of the computer to make the content easier to read, Zoom Text allows you to pick from some selected color schemes or set your own custom colors for a truly custom experience. Zoom Text allows users to change the size, shape, and color of the mouse pointer to ensure that a user is able to fully see and utilize their pointer. The cursor menu gives you numerous enhancement options for the typing cursor, again giving a great deal of flexibility on the size, color, and type of a text cursor you have. The final screen enhancement tool is called Focus, and when enabled it highlights the particular element on the page that is currently active, such as items in a combo box or a menu system. Zoom Text also gives your computer the ability to speak content back to you using realistic voices.
Accessibility can be viewed as the ability to access and benefit from some system or entity. The concept focuses on enabling access for people with disabilities or special needs, or enabling access through the use of assistive technology.
Zoom Text also has a number of tools that will read document content out to users and will help users to follow where they are reading in that document. Zoom Text also includes a Speak It tool where you can highlight sections of a web page or Word document and have that content read out to you in the same easy to listen to synthetic voice. There is also a facility to convert documents to MP3 files so that you can take them away with you and listen to them on another device.
Accessibility refers to the design of products, devices, services, or environments for people who experience disabilities. The concept of accessible design and practice of accessible development ensures both direct access, that is unassisted.
Zoom Text also helps users to type as well as read documents. Zoom Text has a feature that can announce the letters and words as you type them to ensure that what you are typing is correct.
Mary had a little lamb.
Keyboard and switch navigation. Users who cannot use a mouse through permanent or temporary disability or illness can still fully access a computer via a keyboard or a set of specially adapted switches. Keyboard navigation is the easiest alternative navigation method to demonstrate and have a go yourself. Keyboard-only users navigate around a page using the Tab and the Enter key, and potentially other keyboard keys as well. Every press of the Tab key moves the focus on one element, and the Enter key is used to activate that currently focused element. When the navigation on a website is implemented logically and sensibly, then keyboard navigation is fairly straightforward. However, there are numerous instances where navigation is provided to mouse users only, and this provides an issue for our keyboard-only user. Websites that provide content that requires the use of a particular device, such as a mouse, are making their content inaccessible to users that do not use those devices. Keyboard users also have access to a keyboard mouse, which is controlled by using the number pad of a standard keyboard. However, navigation in this way is very, very slow and time-consuming. Users with very severe disabilities, or users that lack the ability to make precise movements or can only make sweeping movements, can utilize a series of switches to fully navigate the computer system in the same way as a keyboard user. A switch can be activated in a number of different ways. Some users can activate the switches by using large punching or sweeping motions, and therefore require a switch that has a large surface area. Other users may only have movement of the head, and in which case they would need a smaller, more delicate switch to be mounted somewhere near their head so that a small movement could activate that switch. Other users that do not have any movement at all can utilize a puff and suck switch, where they can utilize two actions simply by blowing into a straw or sucking on that straw. All types of switches work on the same principle. They allow the user to perform one keystroke per switch. So it may be that a user is presented with 4 buttons in front of them, one for Enter, one for Tab, one for Escape, and one for the Windows key. The user can then navigate the computer using these switches. There is an on-screen keyboard available within Windows, and a switch user can utilize that keyboard with just 2 switches. Therefore, a user can have full access to a full QWERTY keyboard. Limitations of assistive technology. Assistive technology benefits users greatly. However, assistive technology does have its limitations. Many of these limitations, however, can be reduced if a website is built in an accessible way. For example, a screen reader cannot see images, and therefore a screen reader user is fully reliant on the website coder programming the correct description into that image.
Tab. Graphic image 13546.jpg. Tab. Graphic picture 23.jpg. Tab. Graphic image temp 48. GIF.
Another example, whilst voice recognition software is getting better and better, it is still not perfect for users that have strong accents or a speech impediment. Recognition accuracy for these individuals is somewhat lower than users with a clear sounding voice.
I hope your new job is going well, full stop. Are your colleagues nice, ?
Assistive technology and browser compatibility. Along with the limitations of the actual assistive technology itself, the compatibility with major web browsers is another hurdle that people with disabilities and their advocates have been fighting for a long time. The major browsers in the marketplace today are Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, and Chrome. Each browser has a different amount of support for each assistive technology, and browsers are getting better and better by the day. For many assistive technology users, Internet Explorer has been the recommended browser of choice, with Firefox coming in at a close second. Assistive technology compatibility with Google Chrome has been limited up until recently. However, that too has now improved significantly. So not only are disabled users limited by the access methods they have to the computer, they are also limited by the web browser that they can use and the websites that they can actually visit to get information. That concludes our accessibility tutorial on assistive technology. We have looked at the different types of assistive technologies that are available and what users those software benefits. We have taken an in-depth look into 4 of the major types of assistive technology and exactly how they go about assisting users in their day-to-day computer use. We have touched on the limitations of assistive technology and their compatibility with modern web browsers, and show that even with all the technology that is available, users could still be at a significant advantage. That concludes today's tutorial.